Hi sewing friends, welcome to my sewing room. My name is Beth, and if you're new, welcome. Today I'm putting a quilt together that I received unfinished in the mail. My quilty surprise arrived this week in a box from Kathy, and she sent me 3 unfinished projects and also a little project for a doll. The first project I wanted to share about included all these beautiful, what I want to call 30s reproduction fabrics, and a lot of the blocks were almost complete, but not quite. So these had, even the pins were still in there, and Kathy shared with me that this is an unfinished project that she purchased about 3 years ago. So I took these blocks right over to my machine. The pins were already in there, and all I had to do was finish up the seams on a few of these quilt blocks. These quilt blocks were so easy to put together. They were almost complete. All I had to do was that one seam on all of these blocks, and I wanted to get all these blocks together and find out how big of a quilt I had so far. When I had all my blocks together, I found that I had 22 blocks, and I needed 3 more blocks to fill in the gap there, and there was plenty of fabric. This block uses squares that are 6.5 inches, and then you add a strip that's 6.5 by 3.5, and last of all, you add another strip, a longer strip that's 3.5 by 9.5. A nice big block, a very simple block, and so I only needed 3 more, and that's what I'm making right here. After getting all of my blocks complete, I ended up with 5 rows of 5 blocks, and I just tried to mix up the colors a little bit. This unfinished quilt also came with some strips, so I didn't want to leave those out, and I wanted my quilt top to get a little bigger, so I started inserting strips into each row. I did not add them every other one in every row. Sometimes I would put 2 strips together, but each row has 5 blocks and 4 strips. And I kind of mixed it up. I just thought it was more interesting to have those strips and blocks mixed up a little bit. This quilt top is really beautiful with all those pretty fabrics. The last thing I need to do is to put my rows together, pinning at some of the seams. I'm not pinning at every seam, of course. All of the seams aren't coming together just because of the way that I put my rows together. So I'll add some pins and I'll sew my rows together, and before you know it, I will have a quilt top. This beautiful quilt top is all complete now. I do have more fabric. I may get this quilt top to be just a little bit bigger, but I used all of those quilt blocks that were almost done. And here's a glimpse of my husband's garden. I really love this quilt, and I'm dreaming about how I can make it just a little bit bigger. There's plenty of fabric in that wonderful box that came in the mail, and I look forward to figuring out what I'm going to do next. Thank you, Kathy, for this special project. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.